Holy crap. I don't know who the hell we think we are when we do something like that.
What's up, fight fans? This is the Combat Connection, and we are live on the Cageside Press social media platforms. Well, straight off of the UFC 321 pay-per-view last weekend. And unfortunately, Eddie, we didn't have the conclusive ending that we wanted in the main event. Tom Aspinall gets eye poked in both of his eyes there by Ciryl Gane, ending the fight in no contest. And there's been a lot of hot takes since the fight has concluded, from Chael Sonnen to Anthony Smith. What was your opinion on the whole landscape of the fight? It looked like Gane was getting the best of him early in that first round. And Tom couldn't get him to the ground when he went in there for the takedown early. I liked how Ciryl looked from the limited amount of time that we saw them fight. But what do you think, Eddie?
Gane looked dope. I mean, he looked like he was prime ready to go. And that's what's feeding all these hot fucking takes out here that are dumb as shit. In my opinion, they're dumb as shit. But so, okay, we watched it, but we only got to see, I don't even know how many minutes of the first round. We got to see somewhere of the first round, right? And Gane was on it. He was on it. That's why I was mad at Gane for poking him in the eye. I'm like, motherfucker, you had a performance going, and now everyone's going to be like, well, you poked him in the eye. To me, that's a streak on everything, right? But the ending was wild because, that was right after Mackenzie. Okay, the Mackenzie Dern fight set this whole thing up in my mind, okay? Just follow me on this. She goes in there and goes to war with Virna, Jandiroba. Great, cool, right? Did you hear the crowd during that fight? Nobody gave a fuck. Okay, it was the quietest. Look, y'all Abu Dhabi folk. All right, everyone. I don't know why Dana called you guys a great crowd. Y'all suck ass. Y'all a terrible fucking crowd. Terrible crowd. You clearly. I don't know if it's because she's a woman or because they're female fighter. Like it's women's MMA. A lot of people don't like it.
Didn't last year they left early before the main event of Khalil Roundtree and or something when they were back over there. They left early.
Trash ass crowd. All right, eat it with the Abu Dhabi stuff. So they're all quiet as shit and everything. Dern gets her thing, her title. Congratulations, that's great. DC gets her props. Then they cheer for her, like, great. Okay, cool. Going to that fight. They're doing soccer fucking singing and shit during the fight. It's an awesome environment. I'm like, all right, you guys woke up. Hey, here we go. You guys are totally full of shit. Then the eye poke happens. That's when everything, like the hypeness of the fight, flattened out, right? Because I don't know about you, but the second he was doing this shit, holding his eye and all that, I'm like, this fight's over.
Yeah, no, right? It was so bad. It was immediate. He knew he wasn't going to be able to fight like within a minute of it happening. Yeah. And Herzog's like, you got 4 more minutes. We got 2 doctors in here. Just wait. We'll give you the time you need. And he's like, I can't see. He must have been like, Eddie, sometimes you get hit in the eye. I played basketball back in the day, and sometimes you get poked in the eye and like you get that flash, like you get flashes and you really can't see anything and you can't open your eye. You're going like this. Like, I feel like this was just one where Tom Aspinall, he had to do what happened, right? Because if he goes back in there and fights with one eye, he loses the heavyweight title, right? It's just too big of a risk to go back in there and fight with one eye. So I like what happened, and I hope these guys can get rebooked pretty soon. But Eddie, after the fight, Chael Sonnen and Anthony Smith said, you have to fight through some of this stuff, some of the adversity. In the heavyweight division, we've seen people fight with one eye before. Anthony Smith went on to say he did it himself. That actually came from a punch, not an eye poke. Right. So you have to fight through adversity when you're hitting the eye with a punch. Right. You lose by TKO if you stop. But if you get eye poked, like you have the option for the no contest if you truly cannot see. So I think it was a completely different situation than the example that Anthony Smith tried to use. And for Chael Sonnen to say that people fight through eye pokes all the time, I just don't see that.
Here's the thing. Anthony Smith did it. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you didn't do it. You weren't a title holder ever, and you never did a championship fight. Chael Sonnen, you ain't never did it holding a title in a championship fight. Keep giving me a list of whoever, because most of these motherfuckers ain't done it holding a title on the line. Their title on the line. Now, I'm not saying that Tom Aspinall said, no, I can't see because the title's on the line. I believe he couldn't see. I think anyone going out here saying he could see is talking out of their asshole, okay? And just because this guy did it or that guy did it doesn't make it a smart fucking move. How many times do we see these guys go in there, fight? Okay, I'll give you a great example. Actually, no. How about your point? Because I got a great example from LFA later that night.
Oh, what were you saying? Basically, like from what I see here is that Ciryl Gane is probably going to come into this next fight very close in a betting. Like Tom was almost 3-1 betting wise coming in last weekend. It's going to be closer. And I thought Ciryl Gane really looked good in the matchup. From what we saw, he was really picking Tom apart. Tom was bloodied on the nose, had a broken nose. And you were wondering about the time earlier. It was 4 minutes and 35 seconds is what we ended up getting through. But through that entire 4 minutes, it stayed on the feet. And Ciryl Gane really kickboxed him at range. But what was the example you were talking about?
Kevin Natividad fought later that night. LFA 220 in Arizona. I literally right after the main event, and not even the main event. I watched it in the parking lot at a what do you call it? Arizona Financial Theater, right? I watched it in the parking lot because I needed to go in there to set myself up for interviews and all that. Later that night, Kevin Natividad on the main card goes in there and fights. He gets eye poked early. He takes a minute. He's like, "Ah, fuck, this sucks, whatever." He goes, "All right, cool, I'm gonna fight." Fights 2 more rounds, loses. Okay, has to go to the hospital because he can't freaking see out of the eye. And now he's like, dude, I should have stopped. In fact, he even talked about the Tom Aspinall example. He's like, nah, he did this. I wish I'd have done that. I wish I'd have been like, nah, I can't fucking because to this right now, we're what 4 days after the LFA 220, whatever it is, right? Like 4 days later, my guy still can't see well out of that eye. He can't drive. He can't even play video games. Can't do nothing. Okay, now everyone can go in there and be like, he's a heavyweight champion. He ain't got to do shit. Okay, if Shohei Ohtani, all right, hurts his eye tonight, you think, and he goes, hey, man, I can't fucking hit. You know what Dodger fans are going to be like? Well, yeah, you can't fucking see. Of course he can't. Of course he shouldn't do it, right? Why are we talking about a guy who got eye poked on both eyes, and then after that, he's going to keep getting punched in the same freaking eye over and over again? Why are we getting mad at that dude?
No, yeah, exactly. He's setting himself up to lose if he does that. And he's in one of the biggest positions in the history of the company, right? Yeah. He won that fight last weekend. He sets himself up for a potential Jon Jones or Alex Pereira matchup. Yeah. So the risk just outweighs the reward for here when he's doing this, right? Because when you're on the cusp of having a multi-million-dollar fight with Jon Jones or Alex Pereira, and you have life-changing money on the other end of this matchup that you just had with Ciryl Gane, like you can't just throw that in the wind to be the tough guy in the room for that circumstance. Go back to the lab, learn from what happened in the first 4 minutes. Maybe, try your takedown entries differently for how you're going to get in there in the clinch, because it didn't really necessarily look good on the one takedown attempt that we did see, and come back with a different game plan. But Eddie, when this fight does happen again, are you favoring Ciryl Gane next time these two compete from what you saw after 5 minutes?
I mean, I would. I mean, the betting line. I mean, okay, if he shows up like he did, obviously, I'm good. Now, here's the thing about Ciryl Gane that bothers me is I wasted too much time. So, okay, we're just playing to talk about this. We're gonna break this down a little bit more. Okay, I'm sure. I went back and I watched a bunch of his fights. When does this motherfucker not foul somebody? I could not find a fight where he didn't foul somebody. Either a nut shot or what he loves doing? He loves pawing like this. Okay,
kind of like John.
Repeatedly. John does it on purpose, and we all know it. He admits it. Fucking we know, okay? But Gane just pause over, and he does it. He's like, oh, what did I do? What did I do? I don't know what I did. French bread. Eat a dick, motherfucker. Like, that pissed me off because it's like, dude, you know what you did. Now, why in the hell is Gane getting no flack right now? Zero flack.
This guy's the thing for me is he doesn't come in focused to these big matchups is what I see. Like he's coming in here and haphazardly putting his arms out. He's coming against Jon Jones and looking like a deer in the headlights. Like he's never been in a big fight before. Like when can we trust Ciryl Gane? Why is the UFC keep putting him in position to be the number one guy at their company when you can't trust this guy? He goes in there and fights Francis Ngannou. That was a boring fight. I'm sorry to tell everybody. It wasn't that exciting at all. And Francis had to resort to grappling to win that fight. So, I don't know. I don't really know why the promotion tries to get behind Ciryl Gane the way that they do. I thought he should have been thrown into an Alexander Volkov rematch, who we'll talk about here in a little bit. But for Ciryl Gane or for Tom Aspinall, so some people are saying he fights Ciryl Gane and then Alex fights Jon Jones next. Is that what you want to see? You kind of lined up that you'd like to see Pereira fight Jones last week. But given the outcome from Tom and Ciryl Gane, do you even want to see this fight again?
Yeah, I want to see it again because Gane was doing fucking dope. If you don't foul, bro, you win this fight. Do you realize that, Ciryl? If you don't eye poke this dude, you're the heavyweight champion right now because I don't see, like you said, Tom couldn't do shit. He couldn't take him down for shit at all. If you're telling me you're going to fight a kickboxer, by the way, guys, after the show, go YouTube with Ciryl Gane's old kickboxing fights, okay? Incredibly exciting, fun as hell. He goes and tries to kill dudes. Okay, if you're telling me that, come on, man, Ciryl Gane will be a champion right now. He played himself. He 100% played himself. Now, I want to ask you, what do you think can be done about it? Because there's like two different schools of thought on it, and I want to know what yours is.
So, like, you could end up saying, all right, disqualify Ciryl Gane because of the eye poke, whatever. I think that the no contest is the way to go. But, you know, Eddie, I was really surprised when I heard the post-fight press conference from Dana, and he said, quote, only Tom knows what really happens. It wasn't necessarily a vote of confidence from Dana White. Were you surprised with the comments that Dana White made? You know, kind of, he didn't throw Tom under the bus, but he certainly didn't have his back.
I'm not surprised at all. Do you remember that they were supposed to have a fight night? I think earlier this year, if not last year. They were supposed to have a fight night in Abu Dhabi, and it was so bad. It's so apex level, okay, that they said, no thanks.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'll come back with a fucking pay-per-view. And he did, okay? He came up with a great pay-per-view. Honestly, the pay-per-view delivered for the most part, right?
Yeah.
So to end it like that, I guarantee Turkey was looking at Dana like, fuck, dude. You know why? Because Turkey doesn't know what he's watching. But he's, you know what I mean? Like now he's under pressure. Now he looks stupid. Dana White, the one thing he hates is looking fucking dumb. So. Yeah,
and that's what happens in some of these situations when, you know, it's kind of hard, right? Because you pay all this money for a pay-per-view, and then you have a women's title fight, and you got Umar and Mario, and that was what it was. But
it was boring.
you know, if you paid $80 for this thing last weekend, Eddie,
you're not happy.
Not happy at all.
You're not happy at all. So, but if we're gonna say this is a sport, okay, now that's what we need to define this shit. All right, because look, I don't watch the Noses show because I just don't. To me, it's not quality, and I know people give me shit for that, and they do all the time. It's nothing personal against the guy. I just don't like his work. All right, he's a wannabe screaming at Stephen A. Smith. That's all it is at this point. He's not a journalist anymore. But y'all can go check that. And, you know, I'm spot on accurate. Anyway, but apparently he came out and tried to say that because Tom said he couldn't see anymore because the eye poke, it should be a DQ to Gane, and Gane should take an L. Okay. Because he's comparing it to other sports, okay? We need to figure this out. First of all, that's a dumbass take the arrow hat. That's just dumb. But we need to figure this out. Is this going to be a sport or not? Because if it's going to be a sport, okay, then no. Tom doesn't have to fight with a poked eye. He doesn't. Yeah. All right? But if you guys are telling me, hey, no, he's a champion. He needs to fight. Yeah, you know why? You know, would Tom Brady throw with a broken hand?
No.
Or arm? No.
When you have backups in other sports.
Yeah.
You know,
you have backup players to come in. So if you're gonna tell me this is a sport, you can't then go and be like, well, you need to fight with the eye pokes. So you can't see? Tough shit, bro. You gotta fight. No, you can't do that. So now then we all need to admit that this is not a sport anymore. Okay. Let's stop pretending we want to be on ESPN and we want to be the NFL and all sorts of stuff. All right. And let's do what it really is. It's fighting. All right. If we're going to talk about this is a fight, this is fighting and not a sport, great, cool. Fight with a busted eye, dude. You know why? Because that happens on the street. Yeah. But if it's going to be a sport, then no.
Yeah, and it's not BKFC either, right? So, there's, you know, this is a structured environment.
And BKFC, I don't know about you, but I've never heard anyone call it a sport. No. That is just fucking dope.
Yeah, it's just carnage and violence. This is no offense to Perlet's here, but this is a lot of the sentiment from the fan base that I'm seeing online is that they think that Tom took the easy way out. And listen, the optics of it were worse because he was losing the fight. No doubt about it. 100%. Tom was in there and was winning the fight, and he said, I can't continue. I don't think there would be this flack that people are necessarily giving him right now. But I need to see this fight ran back immediately. Eddie, do you think they can get this one done again by the end of the year?
4 minutes, 10 seconds. Tom's like, it's better. Yeah. But it totally screws up our timeline for the fucking White House card in terms of a Pereira fighting either one of these guys. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this is what I see it.
Yeah, I think so too. But Eddie, before we get off this topic here, I do think that obviously when you have a top heavy card like it was last weekend, right? And we have something in the main event happen like it did, you're gonna have a lot of people upset. But one of the things that could really stop that is that if we loaded the rest of the card. Now, I'm not trying to say that it was a bad card outside of the main event, but like you said, nobody really cared about that co-main event. I hate to say it. It was a great performance by Mackenzie Dern. We're about to get into it, but nobody was really super excited for that matchup. And Mario and Umar, everybody knew what that was going to be going in. Those were two grapplers that were going to get into a grindy, gritty fight, and it was probably going to go to decisions. So, I don't know, Eddie. I didn't think this was necessarily the strongest card on paper. We've been doing card ratings in the past in recent shows. If I'm going to give a card rating for this weekend, Eddie, I'm probably going about a 5.5 to 6. Yeah,
I mean, I enjoyed the. I like. Well, I'm probably one of the few. I like watching women's MMA. This is a different game. It's not the same as the men fighting. It's a different game. So I didn't mind it too much. I gave it overall like a 7. I thought I was glad Umar fought the way he did because I don't want to see him in a rematch ever. See, that's possible. I could see that happening if he comes out. If he comes out and does that shit, then all the what do you call it? All the naysayers, all the criticism might have some heat behind it.
And I don't think that he can do that after what he said about Jon Jones the last time. You can't go around saying, "Oh, you're ducking me, you're ducking me, you're ducking me," and then somebody bloodies your nose
and then starts ducking.
Hit him again. You know, so.
Yeah, so I don't think he's gonna avoid the rematch. I think the word you said is perfect. I don't think he can because the second he goes, I don't want to fight this guy. Just eye pokes. The ducks are coming flying. All the stuff he threw at Jon Jones.
Talking to Jon Jones. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah. So I can see that happening. But he can't do that, right? If he does that, he's fucked. It's over. Like you might as well just like never show your face around here again. You know, at that really seriously at that point, right? Because that is right. But in the fight, parallels me, you, Screaming A. Smith, fucking maybe Jesus and God know, but outside of those two and Tom, nobody else fucking knows what Tom was seeing or not seeing. To come out and say that he could have fought is talking at your ass, and that's all you were doing. You know what I mean?
100%. So we have to move on down this UFC 321.
One more thing. Sorry. I want to touch on really, really, really quick because I know we were on this already too long. But people are talking about the gloves.
Yes. This was great. I'm so happy you brought this up.
Go ahead. Okay.
Did you see Robert Nakamura's tweet? The guy we follow. He talked about the Pride gloves, and he said they.
I have no idea what that is.
Wait, what?
I have no idea who that guy is.
So I think we both follow him, but he's on Twitter. But he posted something that went viral. It was it was like 30K likes and retweets and all this stuff. But he posted the side by side of the Pride glove and the UFC glove. Is that what you were talking about?
Let's see. Who is this guy? Oh, I just found him. Okay. Oh no, this guy's a cunt. No, I don't follow this dude. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Okay. But did you see the post that he made that went viral of the gloves?
No. But I did see other people talking about going to the Pride gloves and going to other gloves and everything. Yeah. Do you think that will actually fix anything?
I do. And I think that, his tweet was the one that I saw. So I didn't see the other ones. But that one that went viral, I agree with it. Because when you see the slanted glove like this, it looks like the Trevor Whitman glove, right? It looks like he kind of maybe took that design. And that's kind of what he based a lot of his glove around, too. So, and when you go back and watch those Pride fights, Eddie, how many of them were stopped due to eye pokes? Not a lot.
Not a lot of them, no.
One that I remember, and it was Don Fry and Gilbert Ivel. And that was an intentional eye poke.
Yes.
And he was like gouging his eyes.
That was fucked up. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I never saw that happen in Pride.
Pride never died, folks. That shit was dope. Anyway, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think?
I don't think that's gonna fix anything. Really? I think people use the eye poke as a tactic because look, refs don't do anything about it at all. For the what? Sometimes you do. I've seen dudes poke 3 times. Nut shots 3 times, shit like that, and fucking this is our warning. This is the last warning you're gonna get. Then ends up taking a point, and then the fight's over. Like, come on, dude, the damage is done. The other guy's compromised, right?
You're right.
You make the foul. You make the penalty immediate. All right. Sorry, y'all. Some of you guys on this roster and other rosters, y'all gonna have to be the guinea pigs. You're gonna have to take the hard lesson for everybody else. If the eye poke is there and the fighter is in my mind, let's say whatever, eye poke, penalty, boom, point. Well, it's the first one. Cool, don't do it again. Or I'll take another one, or I'll DQ your ass. Okay. Yeah. And then the next fight, someone does it again, point. What the fuck, dude? You know why? If Steph Curry drives to the hoop, right, and gets smacked, what do? Call foul. He gets two free throws. Cool, right? In football, PI, face mask, you get yards. Why in the hell are we giving these dudes
consequence for your foul? Certainly.
There's got to be a consequence. You make the consequence hurt right in the fucking balls, man. Yeah. You know, for lack of a better term.
But you're right though, and what I was going to say is that the one thing that is sticking out to me is that there's fighters that take advantage of that. It's kind of like a subtle thing. Like they know
Jon Jones
warned twice, so you might as well use up those 2 warnings, right? And what I'm seeing a lot, Eddie, is a guy pokes a guy in the eyes, and then the next warning isn't an eye poke because he hits him with a nut shot. So it's like, okay, I fouled him with one, and then I got him with the other, but it wasn't the same foul, so they're not going to deduct a point. It's confusing.
Yeah, no, we got to stop that. And I know in boxing, they'll give you like one low blow, whatever it is, before they take a point. No, it's enough. It is enough. These guys are not dumb, okay? When you – like, I don't know if you ever sparred, but in sparring, we never use 4-ounce gloves. Rarely, all right? Maybe if you're a psychopath like Sean Strickland, great, okay? But you normally use the 16-ounce boxing gloves, okay? You know what I can do in those gloves? This shit all day. You know why? Because I'm not poking anybody in the eyes, okay? Okay? You can train to not poke people in the eyes. That's not hard to do. Stop doing this. Stop doing this. Stop doing this. It punches. Yeah. If you're grappling, great. Open your hands. Let's do this shit, right? But you gotta make the penalty hurt right in the gut, hard.
Now, do you think that the eye poke is harder to control than the groin shot, right? Because there are situations to me where someone does throw an accidental groin shot going for a low kick, and I don't necessarily think they should have a point immediately deducted because it was unintentional. Sure. But the eye poke, like you're saying, they tell them in the back, like you do not fight like this, and if there's no excuse for your hands being like that. In a striking distance.
Herzog, Goddard, Herb Dean, John McCarthy, none of them should have to tell you, hey, fighter, close your hands. Fighter, close your hands 12 times in a round. That's ridiculous. Like, come on, man. Get out of here with that stuff. So if they change the glove and it helps, I'm all for it. Great. Okay? But penalize because it doesn't matter. You know what I can still do in those pride gloves? I can still do this. I can do this. I can do all that stuff. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
And I think just less of the finger was shown. So instead of it being like right here on the UFC glove, it's like right here on the Pride glove. So, but you're right, the fingers still do peek through there. We got to move on down the card here to the UFC 321 co-main event where Mackenzie Dern won the vacant strawweight UFC belt, defeating Virna Jandiroba for the second time in her career by unanimous decision, 48-47, 48-47, 49-46. Across all 3 judges' scorecards here, Eddie. Mackenzie Dern looked good. Virna at times did land some takedowns, but Mackenzie Dern was threatening off of her back, was landing. She fought well off her back in this one, Eddie. She actually threatened submissions, but she was landing good elbows. And Virna was kind of stuck in these control positions where she was just on top of her, but she was the one actually taking the damage. And then on the feet, Mackenzie was a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, kind of like the first fight. How impressed were you here with Mackenzie Dern? And do you think this title run can last for a couple fights?
You know, I'm not gonna say I was impressed. This is what I expected from her. You know what I'm saying? Like she really leaned on the damage, right? Because what did Virna do with those takedowns? Nothing, right? She did nothing with them. Like she tried to. I'm not gonna give her crap, right? Like she tried. Mackenzie was really good about breaking her down, but anytime Virna even got up a little bit to try and either land strikes or set up any kind of submission, immediately bows, punches off her back. You gotta land damage. These takedowns and hugging people down like Umar does and like Evloev does and like Virna did, it's not gonna win you fights anymore. Y'all can forget it. All right. So it's gonna be damage off the back, damage off the top, 100%. 100%. I was about to say that. She's really good. She's not an elite MMA fighter. She's an elite jiu-jitsu practitioner, player, whatever you want to call it. All right. I've never seen any female more scary than her on the mats. Maybe now, but I haven't paid much attention lately into women's jiu-jitsu. But yeah, as far as fighter goes, not elite, 100%. All right. But I just love a good story. I love a great story, right? Who doesn't, especially with the women? She came with expectations to MMA of being a champion, and she had ups and downs, ridiculed, divorced, people talking shit about her accent. Still hilarious, by the way. Saying stuff about her, this and that. She's washed, this and that, and also got garbage. Finally gets in there, gets the belt, the title that she was destined to, in her mind, I'm sure, destined to win. Great story. Do I think she's going to defend? Depends on who she fights. Because if it's Wei Lee,
Yeah, so Weili fights Valentina Shevchenko here coming up, I believe, before the end of the year. But the fight, really, to me, Eddie, is Tatiana Suarez. That's the one.
100%.
I want to see.
She wants it, right?
Yeah. And I tried to ask her when we were at UFC Noche, do you think this is next for you? And she's like, maybe if they make me go fight again, I'll fight. Tatiana's really humble, and she didn't necessarily call out for the belt. But her versus Mackenzie Dern, jiu-jitsu versus Olympic wrestling, I think that is a tremendous matchup stylistically. Two young girls who both have a lot of potential moving forward. But Eddie, I just on a lighter note, funnier stuff. Did you see the weigh-in, the clips that they put on the UFC page? They have them like the views on them, right? So they did the Tom Aspinall Ciryl Gane face off, and it got like 3.8 million views. And then they did Mackenzie Dern and Virna Jandiroba, and it had 11.5 million views, probably for a reason. But I couldn't believe. I was like, "You got to be kidding me, man!" Like,
hey, I'll tell you right now. You ever seen that joke meme where everyone's like, "Man, if the group chat ever gets released, we're all going to prison." Yeah. My group chat with my buddies during the face offs was just like, "Yo, we are in trouble, man. Y'all better delete this shit. The wives find us. We're all in trouble."
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's 3 times the amount of the main event. But great win by Mackenzie Dern here. I want to see her fight Tatiana Suarez next. Is that the matchup that you'd like to see too, Eddie?
I mean, that's the only one that there is, right? I mean, I don't think there's nobody else that we're gonna be like, oh shit. Now, it's not gonna be a fun fight because Tatiana is a great wrestler, and that's kind of it, right? So if Tatiana learns a lesson from Virna, right? She goes in and takes you down and then does damage with the takedowns. Awesome. Good luck, Mackenzie, because I don't think it's going to work out. But she's got to do that. We'll see.
Yeah, and for Virna, like, it was disheartening. I don't think she probably gets back to a title opportunity. But,
dude, they tried so hard to not give her the title shot, bro. All right?
Poor girl. This was kind of set up for Mackenzie to win. Like, it was an opponent she'd already beaten. They probably could have thrown Tatiana in there right off the rip to her, but –
they could have, and I think
it's kind of a favorable matchup for Mackenzie.
I think that's what it was. I think that's part of it. It was honestly though, Virna could have won that fight. She did something with the takedowns. All she had to do, I know it's hard to do, but what she should have done or could have done was land some damage after the takedown, and then the round goes her way. She could have won this fight. She just didn't do anything with the takedown.
No activity on top. I didn't see the ground.
Zero. She did not want to get hit with those elbows and punches, so she just hugged as much as she could. And that's not going to win your fight. Now, so I want to see Tatiana do something better than that. But Virna, I think so. I'm sorry, you're probably not getting a shot.
Back of the line, you got to fight the next up and coming challengers. Yeah. It just kind of is what it is. But moving on down the card here, we got a lot to talk about. Umar Nurmagomedov faced off against Mario Bautista in a matchup of ranked bantamweights. Umar Nurmagomedov gets the victory by unanimous decision, 30-27 across all 3 scorecards, moving himself up to the number 1 ranked fighter at the 135-pound weight division as of yesterday. Eddie, Umar Nurmagomedov has only lost to Merab. Merab has ran through this entire division. They're going to have to throw him back to Merab, right? Like, it was probably the most entertaining matchup Merab's been in quite an amount of time. The level of MMA, in my opinion, was the highest that we've seen in a bantamweight fight in a very long time, So I wouldn't really mind a rematch between these two guys just because I think that they're head and shoulders above the rest of the division right now.
I'd be good with that rematch if Umar hadn't said the dumbass shit he said at the press conference. Now, you know me, I never watch press conferences ever anymore, right? Because press conferences are like, it's boring now. Like, even Connor's press conferences that aren't rehearsed are dog shit, right? They're garbage. So I don't watch them anymore. But I did see the clip of him telling Dana, like, hey, if I win this fight, I should get a title fight, whatnot. And Dana goes, all right, show me something or something like that, right? Show me that you deserve it, whatever. So what did Umar show us? Nothing. Those scores, garbage. That fight was 29-28 across the board at best. But you know where we are? We're in fucking Abu Dhabi. They love him some Nurmagomedov, okay? So 100% Merab makes him his bitch again, all right? If anything, I'll even tell you this. Merab finishes him this time. Because we know what Merab does, get better every time we see him. But anyway, so after what I saw the clip on the press conference, I'm like, hell no, I don't want to see him with the title fight. Do I think it happens? Yes, I think you do give it to him because, again, who else do you throw in there that's other than Petr Yan, right, who's already getting the fight. But they'll throw him here after that fight for sure to the winner, whoever it is, and that's that. But I think after he said that in the press conference and then he delivered that's what you gave me, dude. That Umar, you gave me that after that bull you spent. Nah, dude.
He just Mario Bautista. You know, Mario Bautista was getting shit for Jose Aldo, and he just did it better to him than, you know.
Yeah, Mario got up like, you ain't say nothing to this asshole? All right, fuck out of here.
It's like the Spider-Man meme. They're pointing at each other.
That shit, yeah. No, if it was up to me, I'd make Umar fight 3 more times. Just to prove a point. You cannot be boring, bro. You cannot bore me to a title. Get out of here with that. Because you know what Merab did? He had to win 10 in a row, whatever crazy number it was, just to get a title shot. And you know what he's done since then? Balls out. Let's go. Do not get my guy Clay Guida. Oh, you know what? That's not a bad idea. You want to put that up? That's not a terrible idea, right? Give Guida a big fight on the way out. Okay.
No,
you know what? Though?
He's been retired for 2 years now. I was trying to see.
Re-sign him.
I was trying to see him fight Jeremy Stevens when they went back to Chicago.
Oh yeah.
I thought that would have been a good little.
You're right.
But for Umar, Eddie, I think you're right. Like back in the day when Robbie Lawler lost to Johnny Hendricks the first time, right? And it was a close fight, and people are like, all right, Robbie's probably the second best guy, but he's got to win 3 more to get back, just like you said against Umar.
Yeah.
He went out there and knocked out Jake Ellenberger, knocked out Josh Koscheck, and ran through 3 guys to get back to the belt, right? And he did so in impressive fashion. Well, these guys going in here and inking out wins over other guys who aren't finishers either. It's right. Him and Evloev are going to find themselves in the back of the bus here, behind people in the queue if they don't go in here and start finishing fights. And like you're saying, Eddie, you can't go in there and say, oh, I'm going to impress, and go to a judge's decision and act like you smashed the guy. I'm sorry. We need to stop acting like 30-27s are this outclassing, smashing situation when Mario Bautista gets up and he's got no blood on his face. Looks like he's been through sparring. He
worked out.
He worked out, man. It's like, dude, you got to go in there and finish these guys and make a name for this. So when this pay-per-view comes up for a second time, people buy it again. That's what this is about. Like,
yeah, pretty much, right? And his brother's Usman, right?
Yeah.
Usman's more fun to watch.
In the UFC now. He's
more fun to watch. He's way more fun to watch. Usman is way more fun to watch. Yeah, so I don't want Umar in there ever, but he will. He'll get the next shot for sure. And then Merab will run through him again, unless it's Petr Yan. If it's Petr Yan, Umar's champion somehow, which is fucking wild, but it is.
Yeah, so if they go Petr Yan, they are fighting again. Peter, that's what's the next matchup.
That's the next fight. Yeah.
Rob and Yan too. But Eddie, Henry Cejudo has a matchup coming up, I believe. Who is that against?
Peyton Talbot.
So if he beats Peyton Talbot, would there be interest for you to see him fight Umar?
No, at all.
Really? Olympic wrestler, maybe this is a number 1 contenders fight. He can go out in a number 1 contenders fight or potentially beat Umar and get, thrown into a title again.
But when's the last time we saw, no offense, Henry, I know you and I know Dalen Rush is our boy. He works with Henry, and Henry's a great fucking guy, honestly. I know that the persona he puts out there, is the Triple C thing. Folks, it's an act. It's on purpose. The dude's fucking solid, okay? But like him as a person, definitely solid guy. When's the last time we saw Henry Cejudo dominate anything with wrestling? Any fight? It's been
I thought he was going to win that Song Yadong fight before the eye poke. I really did. So.
Oh, yeah, that was bad. No, that was bad. And honestly, I'd rather see that rematch before we see Cejudo fight Umar, honestly. Yeah. But if they do Umar, and I don't know if a win over Peyton Talbot merits a fight with a number one contender fight. But I wouldn't be mad at it, right? Cejudo's clearly almost done. This might be his last fight coming up, depending on how he looks. Maybe he reconsiders.
Yeah, I just figured that'd be a big name. Cejudo probably doesn't want to go out against, like if you're Henry Cejudo, you're a 2-time champion. You think of yourself as one of the best combat athletes of all time. Why do I want to go out against Song Yadong? Look, if I'm going to go out and you're going to try and get me finished on my way out the door, I'm going to do it against the guy who's going to carry this division for the next 10 years. And in my opinion, as a competitor, that's where my mindset would be if I was Henry. So, I wouldn't want to lay down for some young kid I don't know and has no, like Song Yadong. I want to go and fight Umar or one of these guys in a number 1 contenders matchup, and where the chips fall, they will. But, for Umar, I thought it was an impressive win. He did get a victory over a good guy in Bautista who was streaking and on like an 8-fight win streak coming into this contest. But, Eddie, I just think that it wasn't impressive enough to get fans riled up about a rematch with Merab.
Well, he solved our Bautista problem. Because we had a Mario Bautista problem, and now we don't.
He did.
So that's all I'll give him.
Moving on down the card here, Eddie, we did have another fight go to decision. This time, Alexander Volkov is on the right side of a split decision victory against Jailton Almeida, or some so thought. Jailton Almeida had a lot of control time in this one, but it was Volkov who had more strikes and more damage throughout the 3 rounds, 29-28 across all 3 judges' scorecards. Eddie, how did you have this one scored? A lot of varying opinions online about who won this fight, but I thought it was good to see Alexander Volkov win this one after I thought he got screwed in his last fight against Ciryl Gane.
Yeah. All right. First of all, my dong, your dong, his dong, her dong, all the dongs. But Volkov, it was nice to see him get a bad decision his way. Okay, that wasn't a bad decision. Let me think back. Get a split decision his way, right? I don't like splits at all, but
yeah.
Almeida didn't do anything with the wrestling. He got takedowns over and over again. He got positions over and over again. You know who he looked like? He looked like the
Virna in the
somewhat not even. Oh yeah, but not even like I was gonna go with Hamdi, right? Hamdi Abdelwahad earlier in the night. He did the exact same thing because Hamdi grabbed and held and grabbed and held and grabbed and held some more. That's all he did. Too. And he got it. Yeah, well, it was I think that the story, and don't quote me on this because I don't know 100% for sure. But I think his contract ran out, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck that. We're not taking this guy back."
Declined to renew.
From what I understand, that's what it was. But I don't know for sure yet. He hasn't been asked yet. He posted some stuff on his Instagram, but I don't know if that's what it was.
In this matchup, though, Eddie, 123 strikes for Volkov to 27 for Almeida.
That's it. Damage. That's all it was. Damage. Yeah. Did Almeida take him down at will? Sure. Absolutely. Did he do anything with it? Hell no. What's king? Damage. Game over. Sorry, Almeida. Try again later. Maybe throw a punch and elbow or two. And Volkov, you got screwed, buddy, by the main event not going the way it's not ending in the way we all thought it should have.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Volkov, right? Because no one wants to see him fight Aspinall again, and they're going to fight again, and he's already lost to Ciryl, and it's got just so many factors against
not
him.
Just that. Now he has to wait for that whole situation to get fixed. You know what I mean? So
who do you want to see him fight? Because he's an active guy, he wants to get in there. He's in his late 30s. He's honestly, I think this is the best he's looked in his UFC run here in the last couple fights. And he gets that win against Ciryl Gane. His record's looking really good. Who do you want to see him fight next potentially? Because he's on a short list. He's up there at the very top.
He fought Jailton. Did he fight Curtis Blades yet?
I gotta look that up. I do not believe a Curtis Blades fight with him.
Okay, so number 1 is Ciryl Gane, obviously. Then you got 2 is Volkov, 3 is Sergey Pavlovich, who I think him and Volkov already fought, and Volkov won at Sergey.
He beat Sergey. He was like combing his hair.
Sergey threw a fit, and then
he lost to Curtis Blades in 2020.
Okay, rematch that one. Or if Waldo Cortez Acosta wins on Saturday, he's fighting Ante Delija.
Oh, him and Delija would be a fun striking match.
The winner of Delija Cortez Acosta against Volkov, just to keep him warm, right? Mm-hmm. And go on. So there you go. Todd Duffy. Why you want to get Todd Duffy messed up, man? The guy's got enough CTE. Let him go. Anyway.
Yeah. Name from the past, Todd Duffy.
For real.
Moving on down the card here, Eddie, we did have one standout performer, actually 2 in our next 2 fights. Azamat Murzakanov, takes on Alexander Rakic and finished him in the first round by TKO. Eddie, this was brutal. And for Alexander Rakic, he's a tremendous athlete, 6'3" at the 205-pound division. He's a big guy, but he's ran into some really, really tough customers recently with Yuri Prohaska. This guy this weekend, Murzakanov. And for Azamat, he stays undefeated late in his career, 37 years old. Do you think this guy can make a legitimate title push and threaten Alex Pereira for this belt, even though he's older in age?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if he can. I don't think he can. I wouldn't put my money on Azamat ever getting to a title shot, but I do think he's deserved a big fight. Give that man a killer. Give that man that next level. Like, let's see, where's he ranked? He is ranked. He's heavyweight? He's light heavyweight.
Light heavy.
He's number 7. He went up 3 spots.
Jan Blachowicz would be an interesting match.
Jan Blachowicz would be interesting, right? Jamal Hill's right above him, but he ain't fighting for the year. He got injured again. Khalil Roundtree's there. Oberg is there. Prohaska is there. And then Kalaev's there. Give him one of those guys. Give him a real test. Like, he's shown that the guys you throw at him can't do anything at all.
The last name you said. Let's go Russian on Russian crime. Let's see him and Magomed.
Magomed. I'm okay with that because Magomed would love that fight, and I would like to see Azamat beat Magomed because I'd be interested in me.
Yeah, this is what's interesting to me. Good point here is that Ozma is older, but so is a lot of guys at the top of this division. Magomed's one of the younger guys. Yuri's one of the younger guys.
Alex is
Blachowicz is old. Alex is old. I think he maybe could, given the right matchups, he could get himself to a title shot.
It's possible. I just don't think we'll ever see him as a champion, but I would love it because I guarantee that would bother Dana so much. Yeah. But
he's not a big name, but he's violence, man.
He's fun to watch. Just the name alone makes you think he's a freaking wrestler. He can wrestle, but he's not a wrestler. That guy's a striker, and he's fun as hell to watch. So give him a big fight against a striker or whatever, a top 5 guy, and let's see what he can do. Like, hey man, you want a big matchup? All right, bet. Boom, here you go. You win this one. You've earned, finally, for the first time in years, you've earned a title shot in the UFC. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he was my standout performer of the night. If it wasn't for this next matchup where Quilian Salkid took a knockout of the year contender, head kick knockout over Nasrat Hasparat, who's been around the UFC for a long time. He's fought the who's who. But, man, this kid from Australia took his lights out with that head kick. Eddie, he's long, he's rangy, and he's explosive. What do you make of this newcomer from down under?
So Salkid, he's always fought like that, right? We've seen him, I think, 3 times in the UFC, something like that. And he's a violent fighter. He's fun. He's a sniper. All right, but that head kick was just, dude. Nasrat was putting pressure, being active, and everything. And it's like I think Quilian got his pattern down or his rhythm down, and just boom, timed it perfectly. He hit him so clean, so hard. Nasrat was out for like 5 minutes. All right, we were all. I think anyone watching was legitimately fucking nervous. That we were about to see some crazy thing with Nasrat not coming, not waking up. Finally, we came to and all that. But talk about stepping up on super short notice and just like making it happen. I'm happy as shit for Salkid, dude.
Yeah, seriously, that's how you make a name for yourself, Umar Nurmagomedov. Like, you want to have an impressive performance, that's how you do it. So everybody's going to be excited to see this kid come back. He's at 155 pounds, a glamour division in this promotion. So there are litany of names out there that he could face that people are going to be excited to see him fight. There's Drew Dobers out there. There's all these action fighters at 155 pounds that Quilian Salkid could eventually get in here with. I want to see him thrown to another striker. Eddie, let's see this guy's true potential here on the feet. That looked really impressive last night. If he's thrown against another good striker, maybe he uses a little bit of the ground game and we see the all-around tool set. But, man, that was an impressive knockout.
Yeah, no, he's got some time still to get to the higher level and attack those guys, so we'll see what happens. But, again, huge. I mean, way to just take advantage of your opportunity, dude. That was dope. Yeah,
and Eddie, is there another fight on the card here that you think we should highlight before moving on?
No. This one.
Oh, Walter Walker, man. How? That's 4 in a row by heel hook.
How the fuck? How? I don't know if you saw the on social media. Laura Sanko defended the heel hook really easily. First of all, she's a jiu-jitsu girl, 100%. But she's got ridiculously flexible ankles, from what I understand. So she's like, oh, what are you going to do? Whatever. But she defends really well. But anyway, yeah, dude, what the fuck? And then he calls out Hamdi. He wants to heel hook Hamdi. I'm like, let's go, let's get him. And then Hamdi gets released or gets let go, whatever. I'm like, all right, give him somebody else. Can you go for 5, Walter? Can you go for 5? Let's just keep it going. Let's see how many you can get in a row, bro.
Yeah, he's the Babe Ruth of heavyweight MMA at this point.
For real,
he's calling his shot. Like, it's incredible. Have we ever seen 4 in a row with the same submit? No. I mean, maybe a rear naked choke, maybe somebody, his rear naked choke some guys, but with some obscure submission like a heel hook, especially at this weight division, you just don't see guys at his weight on their back pulling off subs like that, man. It's super impressive. We haven't even seen the full jiu-jitsu game, Eddie. Right. We haven't seen him in his guard. We haven't seen him throwing up triangles and arm bars. He's just really dropped down on legs on people, and it's worked 4 times in a row for him. But Louis Sutherland, I don't want to say he looked deer in the headlights, but he had nothing going for him, right? Like he went in there, initiated into the clinch, and let Walter Walker, who's won the same way 3 times, he let him get to the same spot where he was 3 previous times, right? Like his coaches in camp had to have drilled heel hook. We cannot get in the heel hook. This is this guy's move. And he went in there and let the guy get to his bread and butter immediately. So I wasn't too impressed with Louis Sutherland.
Yeah, he's a newcomer, right? He's supposed to fight last pay-per-view, whatever it was. So, and either is what it is. But that was interesting and super impressive. And then, I'm not going to get into this fight at all.
That was a good fight, though.
Great fight, but I think the other guy won. This so Delgado.
Oh, Delgado. Yeah, Delgado did win that fight.
I thought Delgado won that fight. Yeah, not to mention. No, here's the thing. I'm not mad at it because Wood is up there in age and he needs to make a run now. And I like Nathaniel Wood. The prospect is a dope fucking dude and a great fighter, right? But I think Delgado won that fight. But luckily, Delgado, young guy, so we're okay.
Yeah, I agree too. And we talked about it last week when we were breaking that fight down. That Nathaniel Wood is really, really tricky, and he had to fight through adversity. Got knocked down in that first round too. Yeah,
and then real quick, I think did we have early prelims on this one? Maybe we didn't. We did not have early prelims at all. No. By the way, this one did pretty good numbers on Twitter. Anyway, which you can see why.
Yeah, so fight fans, we're going to move on to the news segment of our show. Larissa Pacheco was recently released from the PFL, one of the biggest women's fighters actively on the roster there outside of Dakota Ditcheva, now hits the free agent market with Kayla Harrison, her former nemesis and opponent, firmly sitting atop the UFC rankings as the champion at 145 pounds. Eddie, is it a matter of time before the UFC signs Larissa Pacheco and we see her versus Kayla Harrison for, I believe, a fourth time?
Can Larissa make 35?
I think if Kayla can, that she can. I'm sorry, 135 pounds is where Kayla Harrison's.
Okay, if Larissa can make 35, why not? She's a heavy hitter. She throws heavy, hard, and she actually tries to fight. If she can't make 35, it's a non-starter. We're not bringing back women's featherweight. That's not happening. It's impossible. So, but if she can make 35, she's gonna be here eventually. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not a lot of people in the contenders at 135 right now. Like, there's just not. And I think if she gets added there, it adds story to it too.
He says Larissa Pacheco versus Mike Perry and BKFC. Come on, dog.
Hey, Pacheco is kind of like a junior cyborg to me.
A little bit. She hits fucking hard, dude. Yeah. No, I'm all for her coming to the UFC, but lady, they're not gonna bring featherweight back for you. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah. It's impossible. Show you can make 35. Let's get her signed. Let's go.
So another star of the PFL moves over to the UFC potentially. I don't know where else she would go outside of that. But, Eddie, do you think there's going to be some more people here in the next calendar year as the PFL gets closer to their – listen, I think they might be making roster cuts here as they prepare for next year, right? They just got done. They had the big fight with Umar Nurmagomedov and Paul Hughes. Candidly, I don't think that probably did what they thought it was going to do. And now they're looking for next year, and they're like, all right, we need to get rid of some of this loose ends. Larissa Pacheco leaves. She didn't even fight last year. Do you think they start getting rid of some of these girls like Leah McCourt, Larissa Pacheco, and some other people that are kind of lingering around there?
And they have to. They can't afford them. I mean, plain and simple, right? They've shown they can't afford to pay some of these people. So they're going to have to let some people go. Larissa's gone. But they'll let go. I think they're going to let go of most of the females, honestly. And unfortunately, there's no up for a lot of these girls. Like Liam McCourt's not going to the UFC. She's just not. You know what I mean?
You don't think if they tried to fill out a division at 135 pounds, they bring over Pacheco, bring over McCourt, bring over Sarah Collins, bring over McMahon again, maybe?
No, because they're not. If you want to fill out the roster, you can get Contender Series for that. You don't need to bring these girls. And I'm just talking candidly. I'm not saying like they don't deserve it. I'm not against them coming over. If they bring Leah McCourt to the UFC, great. She great opportunity for her. Awesome. Let's do this stuff, right? She's great. She should have fought for the title and Bellator like 3-4 times over, but whatever. McMahon has already said a lot about the UFC. She ain't go. I don't think she would want to go back at all. What
about Sarah Collins, who's young too?
I mean, Sarah's got a shot. Yeah, I could see Sarah in there. I could see, as far as the females go, who else do they have? Dakota. Jesus Christ, get out of PFL.
Well, I don't think they leave her. They let her leave, but
no. But I want her gone so fast. Just go to the UFC, please. Somehow find your way. Say what you got to say to Don Davis. Piss him off and let him go. I don't know. I'm just messing around, but still.
Did you see Din Thomas said that they should trade Ankalaev for Dakota Ditcheva?
Can we stop with the trading? It's not real. Y'all, you know what didn't happen? There was no trade from Mighty Mouse to Ben Askren. That was the UFC going, we're tired of hearing this shit, cut. Ben Askren won championship, we're tired of that, cut. That would be awesome. Stamp Fairtex in the UFC, first of all, do not ever put her against a wrestler ever. In fact, put her in MMA fights where the stipulation in the contract is no grappling whatsoever. Because Stamp Fairtex is striking, bro. She would knock some of these chicks out.
Yes, entertaining too.
100%. Anyway, but fuck, I already forgot what I was talking about because I got excited about that. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
people coming over to the UFC from the PFL.
Yeah. But as far as PFL goes, like, They got a lot more problems than just the roster. All right, so let's just relax with that. But yeah, man, it's whatever. We'll see what happens. I want to see. We are going to see I think a bunch of one people coming over. I think we're going to see a handful of one people.
Maybe
coming
we
over.
get Malikin over in the heavyweight division.
If he can pass the drug test, absolutely. I don't think he can.
I like that rug guy too. He's at least a good athlete. And
again, if he can pass the drug test, 100%, let's do it. Although it is UFC's in-house drug testing now, so
what drug tests? What
exactly? No, he totally passed.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
But fight fans, we did get another matchup at 155 pounds announced. That is on the radar here. Edson Barboza, longtime contender, is going to take on Jalin Turner. That's going to be an interesting one, headlining a card that was announced as of last week. But Eddie, let's get into the UFC Fight Night card that we have coming up this weekend between Steve Garcia and David Onama. Get our predictions there. Eddie, I really like Steve Garcia. And David Onama, he lost to Nate Landwehr. I don't think that's necessarily the end of the world. Nate Landwehr is a tough competitor, and he's a good wrestler. But I think Stevie Garcia is just a little bit better than David Onama. I think that David Onama is a good athlete, but I think Stevie Garcia is skilled, and I think skills pay the bills in this sport. And I think Stevie's boxing is a little bit crisper. I think he's going to be able to put hands on David Onama and back him up. Who has made Stevie Garcia go backwards on this run, right? Nobody. And over the last 6 fights, he's won all of them by knockout. I know that he was struggling there when he entered the UFC. He had a couple losses right off the gate. But over these last 6 fights, Eddie, Stevie Garcia has turned himself into a new fighter. And he's somebody who I think is going to be a legitimate contender here at 145 pounds.
No, I think I'm not gonna say I'm excited about this fight because I think it's gonna be a one-way ass whooping, right? I think Steve's gonna put pressure on David. David's gonna find out he can't athletic his ass out of some of these spots, and if he lets Steve push him towards the fence, it's over, right? And so I think this is gonna be a Steve Garcia showcase. Personally, I got him by whatever he wants. I'll give you TKO like 3rd round, but David Onama he just doesn't have enough in my mind, right, to be able to actually put Steve on the back foot. Because in order to beat Steve Garcia, you got to put him on the back foot. Like you said, ain't no one being able to do it. So I think Steve Garcia is gonna have a coming out party this Saturday night, and then we'll see what happens for him next. But it sucks for David Onama, just bad timing.
Yeah, and for Onama, like you're saying, he is a good enough athlete to where he's going to get pushed into these competitions against the elite. And I think Stevie Garcia right now is one of those elite guys.
Yeah.
Go back and look at his schedule and the strength of competition that he's fought. A guy who we're really, really excited about, Mequezel Costa. I think that's how you pronounce his first name. He's got the skin in he's a great fighter, and he's somebody who's streaking himself in this division right now and has really good jiu-jitsu. Steve finished him in the 2nd round with ground and pound, right? Then you go to Kyle Nelson, who just picked up a win over Drew Dober impressively on that Canada card a few weeks ago. Knocked him out in the 1st round. Calvin Kattar most recently came back, and we were kind of talking shit a little bit about Calvin Kattar, but he put up a spirited effort against Stevie Garcia and went to a decision in that one. And Calvin's a really technical kickboxer. So I think Stevie Garcia's strength of schedule has been better coming into this fight. And I think that his skills are a little bit better, especially striking. And I don't see David Onama trying to take this fight to the ground.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. So I don't know, man. I'm not impressed by David Onama at all. So I want to see him do something impressive in this one in order to gain, some notoriety and get a step up and everything. But I think it's Steve Garcia's show this weekend. I don't see any other way, honestly.
I don't either. And fight fans, we'll get you the odds here as I look them.
They don't do odds on this website anymore, by the way.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm wondering if they got a heads up about the NBA gambling scandal. They were like, in
the main event here, Eddie, minus 135, minus 115 for each.
Damn,
of them.
close.
So, favoring Garcia a little bit, but I'm going to take Steve Garcia here. You got him by 2nd round knockout. I'm going to take him 4th round knockout.
Okay.
I think he's going to get him a little bit later. I think David's going to be sharp and quick early, but eventually Steve will out-volume him late.
I just want to see Steve get a hold, take a hold of this fight that he should win, and really nail it to the ground. Show you hey, I'm supposed to beat this guy. Watch me annihilate this guy. That's what he needs to do. But we'll see what happens.
I think this is an opportunity for him to capitalize in a main event, and eventually, if he gets a big win, like you're saying, he could be a name in the division.
Yep.
But moving on down the card here, Eddie, we have a heavyweight matchup that you mentioned earlier that you were excited about between a top 10 ranked guy and Waldo Cortez Acosta and someone in Ante Delija who's coming over from the PFL and looked good and got a knockout in his debut. An impressive striker at 6'5", looked rejuvenated in his UFC debut. And Eddie, Waldo Cortez Acosta got a win over Robelis de Spain, who was a good striker previously by using the ground game. But I think Ante Delija is just a little bit too. He's a little bit better than Robelis de Spain is with the takedown defense, right? And if Waldo can't get him to the ground, I think he's going to get picked apart in this one. Now, I think Waldo's very tough and he's going to be able to survive. I don't see him getting knocked out. But I've got Ante Delija in this one by decision.
Yeah, Ante's going to tire Waldo out and beat him in that way. I don't think it's going to be a super exciting matchup, honestly. Funny enough, Waldo was at LFA on Saturday, and this big fucking dude comes up, stands right next to me. We're watching the fights from that, and I look over, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's Waldo. Oh, shit, it's Waldo. And I go, what's up, dude? And he's just like, hey, what's up, brother? And then we started speaking in Spanish, and I was just like,
Salsa.
Yeah. I was like, don't you got to fight next week? He goes, yeah, I'm just cornering my guys. He trains here in Arizona, so
really.
So yeah. So I thought I didn't ask for an interview because he wasn't doing them, but he's a fucking huge guy. Holy shit.
Yeah, former professional baseball player. He was a pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. People forget that 7 years ago he was playing in the minor leagues. So credit to him, an incredible athlete coming over to a different sport and finding success. But eventually, Eddie, we've talked about it a lot in his fights, right? And I mentioned it in his last loss that, you didn't train when you're 7 years old, you're throwing a ball against a tree, right? And these other guys were hitting pads. And eventually, when you get to the cream of the crop here, these top echelon of fighters in this division, you're ranked 6th now, and there's no cupcakes when you're ranked 6th. Greg Hardy kind of ran into this after he came into the UFC. Got 2 wins. Well, now you're fighting Tybura. Now you're fighting Spivak. Now you're fighting real dudes. Now you're fighting Volkov. I think similarly, Waldo's going to struggle here as he gets up and is in that upper echelon now of the rankings.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think this is going to be the first step right here. I think Ante wins this thing by, I would say, decision, personally.
Yeah, that's where I'm going too.
But yeah.
Eddie, there's another one on here, a welterweight fight. All these fights, guys, if you're a bettor out there, there's a lot of money to be made this weekend on these odds. The last one was minus 140 for Ante Delija, plus 120 for Waldo Cortez Acosta. So another very, very close fight.
Okay. Sorry. What the fuck? Hang on. Okay. I get this fight being on the main event. Cool.
Yeah.
I get this fight being co-main. All right. Jeremiah Wells, Marimba. All right, cool. We'll take it. Isaac Dogarian and Dubai, exciting matchup.
Exciting fight, yep.
Charles Rakic from okay, fine. Dern Nascimento, whatever. Why in the hell are the number? What is it? Hold on, I missed that. The number 3, number 4, right? Number 3, number 4, bantamweight females on the prelims. At the very least, let them open the fucking main card.
Same thing happened with Tatiana Suarez. I asked her about it at the
in Chicago.
When she fought last, she was ranked 2, and she was on the prelims.
Sorry, not Chicago. San Antonio. Thank you.
I was like, did you feel disrespected that you just fought for a world title and then we're like basically opening the card? And she's basically saying she can't pick the placement, but it's been happening.
And Norma Dumont's a good-looking girl. Why y'all tripping, man? She got
She's
that
a good
bust.
fighter too.
She got the bust back there, my boy. Hey. Yes. Thank you. All right. Norma Dumont should be on the main card. Even if she's in there by herself, just hitting pads and throwing shadow boxing, fine. Just make sure she's wearing the kit. All right. I'm just being a dog. Anyway, but in terms of what were we talking about?
Wells and we're gonna get into Wells and Garembo.
Yeah.
I don't know how Wells is an underdog in this fight. Wells hits harder and he's a better grappler.
And Themba's coming off a pretty kind of unimpressive loss.
Terrible loss. He just got finished, I believe, badly by Luque, and then one sec, let me see here. He's been finished badly a couple times.
This fight
got subbed by Luque in 52 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think first of all, for all you guys that come out here, and girls, mostly guys that come out here and be like, "Oh, another Apex card, I can't. I feel sick of the Apex." Would you pay to watch this card at your city?
No.
Thank you. Relax. There's a reason there's Apex, all right? Jesus Christ, the bitch.
I like Jeremiah Wells in this, though.
Jeremiah's going to win. Jeremiah by knockout. No, Jeremiah by knockout.
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to win, too. He's got huge power in his hands. He's knocked dudes dead.
I think we're done with the Themba. I don't want to call it an experiment. I think we're done with the Themba Garembo Disney story. I think that's it. It was cute. Yeah, great. Comes from a place. And, again, Earned it. It
Rock
was a great
bottom of house.
Great story. Rock bottom in apartment or house, whatever it was, and great, cool, awesome. All right. Now you got to show you can fight, and the last couple outings were incredibly unimpressive. Okay. This is a huge opportunity for Themba Gorimbo to prove me and shut me the fuck up 100%. He does it great. I'll give him all the props in the world. All right. But none of his previous performances tell me that he could beat a guy like Jeremiah Wells, who is a seasoned vet. He can strike with anybody. He could wrestle too. Like, what do you want? What else do you want? Jeremiah Wells, man, by second round TKO.
Yeah, I'm going to go same thing. I think he's going to get him in the second round. I think Themba, listen, he's longer, right? And I think that's a lot of reason why Jeremiah Wells comes in as an underdog in some of these matches is that he is small for welterweight, right? He's 5'9" at welterweight, and Themba's 6'1". So there is a little bit of a length issue there, and that's probably why the odds makers are favoring Gorimbo, who is 4-1 in his last 5, but a lot of decisions in there as well. But Eddie, we're going to move on the card here to the matchup that you were very excited about, and I like a lot as well. Isaac Dolgarian is going to take on Yair Deval. Deval, we just saw recently come off the Contender Series, a very hot prospect. And somebody who was a hot prospect himself was Isaac Dolgarian, a good wrestler. He's got power, just like we mentioned with Jeremiah Wells, and good cardio as well. I think he's a very well-rounded fighter. But how talented is Yair Deval? And is he going to be able to go in here and make a statement against a guy who's very impressive himself in Isaac Dolgarian?
So Yair Deval, he can grapple clearly, right? His last fight, I think, was Connor Matthews. He choked him out in the first round. But the dude can crack. He can fight with anybody. So it's going to be fun to watch Wells built like Herschel walk. This guy. Yeah, he is.
He is, though,
yeah. Fuck, what was I going to say? With Isaac. Isaac, great wrestler, 100%, right? But I just don't think he has the power to stay in with Deval. If he's able to control the fight, right, on the ground, or at least just control positions, Dolgarian should win a rather uneventful decision.
Yep. I
don't think it happens. I think it's really hard not to get hit by Deval. That dude was hitting. He was cracking on the Contender Series, almost knocked dudes out. So I think that's what's happening. I think Deval comes in, puts hands on Dolgarian, probably wins the decision, right? Can Dolgarian get him down? 100%. Can take him down 100% for sure, right? Now, if he does something with the takedowns, great. We're cooking with gas now. I don't see it. I think Deval is going to be active, and I think he's going to crack him.
Yeah, I think you broke it down really well. Can he do anything with the takedown? When we saw his first loss with Christian Rodriguez, that was why he lost that split decision, right? He would get takedowns against Christian, but Christian does well off his back, fights up, and he does good clinch work. So Isaac Dolgarian, I think, I'm going to take him by decision in this matchup just because I think that when he was coming up and in the same position as Yair Deval, he was turned back by a guy like Christian Rodriguez. Now he's in the position to play Christian Rodriguez against the surging prospect in Yair Deval. We haven't seen Deval's ground game necessarily tested yet. Haven't seen him put on his back before. I'm going to take Isaac Dolgarian in this one by decision, Eddie.
Yeah, you take Isaac Dolgarian? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking Deval by I'll go third round TKO maybe. I think he lands something. Now, Dolgarian could definitely win this if he's able to, gas his dude out. If Deval has to keep getting up, getting taken down, getting taken down, he can gas him out and everything. But I think Deval is going to be able to land hands on Dolgarian and make him actually fight. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting fight. Nonetheless, Eddie, if you had to pick one for this card that you think is going to be your fight of the night or something that fight fans should really tune in for here, which one would you pick?
Oh, man. Damn, this girl's like 2 feet tall. She's still in the UFC. That's wild. Sorry, I didn't realize she was on here. I hate to say it, dude, but I think Radke Frunze is going to be. I think Frunze is a striker, right? No, he's not. He's a grappler. Shit, I don't know. I don't think we have. I'll give you this one. Nascimento and Dern. Dern's a tough SOB, and Nascimento can scrap. So
yeah, I think Nascimento subs him. He's got like 15 subs.
Yeah, and that might actually happen. But Durden's hard. He's a hard out for anybody. So this might be like a fight of the night thing. But I think we're all going to be pretty underwhelmed when it comes to Saturday night, honestly.
That's normally when we come into these and we're like, man, there's no names, and then they come in there and they're good scraps. So certainly worth tuning in for if you got nothing else to do on a Saturday. Fight fans, we will bring you any breaking news and analysis that happens over the weekend next week here, Wednesday at 7:30. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Go Cardinals. Don't get me depressed, motherfuckers.